This year, the minimum wage in Massachusetts went up to $12 an hour, but thousands of waitstaff who count on tips to boost their take-home pay make just $4.35 an hour. Now, as Stephanie Leydon tells us, there's call for a change.
Hello. In 4 years of working as a waitress, Jill Peterson says this is her best restaurant job yet, even though she doesn't make any tips.
I don't have to worry about how I'm getting paid.
Peterson works at Juliet in Somerville, where tips aren't allowed. But everyone, from the servers to the kitchen staff, makes at least $15 an hour.
So do we have any changes for the menu for dinner tonight, you think?
Yes.
Co-owner Joshua Lewin added the cost of service to menu prices. The payoff?
We actually save quite a bit in efficiency because we're not always training new staff.
He's now getting ready to open a second restaurant. And as Lewin makes his mark on the local food scene, he's also advocating for legislation that would require all restaurants in Massachusetts to pay waitstaff the prevailing minimum wage.
So this is an email that I received recently. No, capitalized, no servers or bartenders that are any good at their job or make good money want this to happen.
Bob Luz with the Massachusetts Restaurant Association says tips often make servers the best paid employees in a restaurant. And he says many, like the one who wrote this email, are against the idea of upending the current system.
Most of us make way more than $15 an hour on average, which is why we continue to do what we do.
And Luz points out that here in Massachusetts, servers already have an important protection. A law that requires restaurant owners to make up the difference if a server ends up making less than the prevailing minimum wage. But Marie Belisle, who spent 10 years working as a waitress, says raising server wages is about more than the bottom line.
It's about the power dynamic that it creates where, tipped workers are just there at the mercy of everybody else.
She says in her quest for tips, she routinely endured harassment.
I got grabbed by my wrist and, dragged through to the back of the kitchen while a cook demanded that I kiss him. But if we reported it and they found out, they being the cooks, then ultimately what they would do is not make your orders.
Belisle now works with Restaurant Opportunities Centers United, an organization advocating for higher server wages nationally. In this Me Too moment, they argue servers, who are often female, shouldn't have to depend on tips for their income.
Thank you.
Jill Peterson says working conditions here are the best she's ever experienced. But could she earn more money elsewhere?
I think it depends on the restaurant, whether or not it's going to be more or less lucrative with tips.
Whatever happens on Beacon Hill, servers in Massachusetts will get at least a slight raise. By 2023, their hourly pay will creep up to $6.75. Stephanie Leydon, WGBH News.
By the way, if this legislation passes and restaurants are required to pay servers the prevailing minimum wage, customers would still obviously be allowed to leave a tip.